Welcome back to the Realgrass Artificial Turf Lawn Installation video. In part 3, we'll show you how to easily install your compactable aggregate base materials, how to evenly spread and feather the materials, along with compacting the site and edges using simple hand tools. We'll also make sure you know how to check and achieve a proper final grade for this type of a project. The video has been modified from its original version and will automatically advance forward for you. You can also manually navigate forward, backward, or pause the action using the control console of most viewers. Let's begin. With fabrics installed, we're ready for our first load. It's best to start in the back of the site, and you'll need to have a garden or landscape rake for the task. Simply dump the load of base in a far corner and spread it using the flat back side of the rake. As we work along, notice how we are feathering in one load against the next to make sure that we're doing it evenly. After we've added the last load to the back, we'll feather it in to complete the installation of that area and check the depth of the base, which should be about 3 inches. It may still have some uneven spots, so a 2x4 piece of wood could be used to scree and even off the surfaces by hand. Now take notice of how the base is nestled deep inside these fabrics. This is going to help protect the base from roots, rodents, and pests over time. The next load you bring in should be brought in and dumped right next to the completed base in the back. It's going to help you sight the level of the remaining loads of base, and as we are working that and feathering in into the back, you'll be bringing in your next load and doing the same thing over and over again. Notice how we are also working the site like one wheelbarrow at a time as we're going across it. Again, being very careful not to put any emphasis on putting any of that material between the layers of fabrics. We don't also travel across that material with a heavy wheelbarrow, which would compact the base and create some challenges in our next step. So work in the materials evenly into the corners and along all of the edges, and you'll have to probably work it from the back. There may be some low and high spots, but the base, as soon as it's completed, will look even across the surfaces, maybe a little fluffy, but it's ready for the next step in our process, which will be compaction. And let's go on from there. After installing the base, the objective is to evenly smooth out and stabilize the entire installation. To compact the materials, we'll use a water-filled landscape roller, hand tamper, and also a few hand tools on the edges. Roll out the entire area at least once with the roller, even in the small areas. If you use the roller first, this is going to give you the widest area of even compaction in the shortest amount of time possible. Anytime you can, change the direction of the rolling during the process and use a garden rake to work out any kind of high spots. Base should compact to about a ½ inch to an inch from the level of any access points like this sidewalk. Use hand tools to fine-tune these levels, especially at the access points. Simply feather the materials you remove back into the other areas of the base. And here's another use for our 2x4 as a hand tamper for the edges. You can work the edge by hand with a mallet and get a nice crisp edge. The hand tamping left us an edge, and we can go back over it again with a larger tamper tool. And also it'll get rolled again during the process. Now notice that we're also using the garden rake to scratch out high spots, and we're redistributing the materials, and we're working the entire surface area several times over. The materials continue to change again and again as we do this. The final grade should be approximately 1/2 to 1 inch below the sidewalk level in this project, and you can again take the excess base you have and use it somewhere else on the site, or simply remove it if you can't feather it into somewhere else on the area. Pay attention to the outer edges, and we're ready for artificial grass installation. This is the end of part 1 of our 4-part series. You can click on the text link underneath the logo to see forms, guides, and other tips, or continue to part 2 and learn more about the basic site preparation, excavation needs, and the installation of stabilizing fabrics. Realgrass artificial turf for lawn, landscape, and putting green surfaces, along with supplies and tools, are available exclusively at Home Depot stores and online at homedepot.com.